Hope you like this season of the Nightcap program. On this program, we talk about any topic. If it's real to you, we can talk about it. We should talk about it. We should share it. You can participate either by typing in the chat, or you can WhatsApp call me. I like when you call. Yes, I like when you call. So you can WhatsApp call me at 1-367-0127. That's 1-367-0127. Or you can send me a WhatsApp text message on that same number. So let us participate and let us have an enjoyable hour together. All right? My name is Charlene Clark Curo, and this is the Nightcap program where we keep it real and talk some real things. Yes, we share our views, we share our experiences. And do know, if you have a story that you would like to share, please DM me and I'll make it happen. It's real people, real story, and we want to motivate, inspire, and engage persons who might be going through similar situation, thinking that they are alone. We want to say to them, listen, no, you're not alone. So let us go through this together, sharing how we dealt with it and to see how best we can empower you to deal with your situation. All right, that being out of the way, tonight's topic, finding that new person, that right person. I don't know why I'm so excited about finding that new person. Where did that came from? Possibly I need to do a program on that. Finding the right person. After publishing the title, the topic, I thought about it some more and I said to myself, is it finding the right word I want to use? Because finding, to me, is the big problem that we have. What do I mean? I am going to engage you by sharing two stories. Well, not real stories from two individuals. If they're logged on and you want to participate, please, but I will not call names, right? But I'm going to share with you two stories. Now, why did I say finding might not be the right word? Now, further on in the discussion, I will explain. Now, the first story I'm going to share is a conversation I had recently with a young man. And he was explaining to me that, I'm unhappy. I'm unhappy in my relationship. My relationship is not working right. I don't know what it is that I'm doing wrong. No, I am no relationship coach. Like I said, what I share is my opinion based on my experience and based on interaction with other persons. So it's opinions. He said to me, I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong, but I must be doing something wrong. And I need to find that right person. He asked me, how can I find that right person? And viewers, this is how this topic was born. Because of that conversation I had recently, and perhaps that is why I used the word finding. Now, as we spoke and I listened to him, because I listened intently. I was not listening to respond per se. I was listening to hear what he's saying and also to hear what he's not saying. That is how you listen intently. Now, when you listen to an individual, they're going to tell you some things, but their action, their non-verbal cues will tell you some more things. So you have to learn how to listen. So as I was listening to him in a holistic way, I recognized that he's not the only one. He's not the only one with the issue, with the problem. He's not the only one. His story was about him being in a relationship that is not fulfilling. He does not feel loved. He is not appreciated. He doesn't feel as though after all the years of being in the relationship, he does not feel as though the relationship is right for him. At that point, or at this point in his life, he now is between a rock and a hard place because, of course, they're children, they are married, and he's now thinking, how do I separate myself? But here is where he's going. He wants to separate himself to find the right person. Wrong approach. Now, because of the responsibilities that he now have, he finds it hard to make that decision to separate himself, and it is killing him inside because he wants, like all of us in relationship, we all want to be loved, we all want to feel loved, and we want to share our space with that person who makes us feel as though we are the only person in the world, right? Rihanna sang about it. But yes, now I felt his pain. I do. Yeah, I did. And as I speak, I felt his pain, and without hearing the other party's story, because in order to make to give advice, you have to hear the story from both persons involved. That is just my belief, because most times, I'm not going to say all the times, most times as human beings, when we're faced with a challenge, when we are upset, when we are angered, what we do is to repeat what we're going through to that person whom we want to give us advice, and we're not entirely telling the individual everything that is going on. So we're going to sugarcoat our part and ensure that the part that we're giving in order to get the advice is as bitter as aloe vera, right? So when we get the advice, it's not a true advice because we did not tell the story entirely, right? Many of us, that's what we do. You separate from a relationship, you are never at fault. You have been doing everything right from day one, and the person whom you've separated from is a person who is wicked, is a person who is cheating, is a person who is doing all the wrong things while you're just a saint. I know that happens, and that's how we explain our situation. But in order for me to give true advice, I would want to listen to the other part of the story, and even to have both individuals in the same space. Nonetheless, I listened and I understood what he was going through from his perspective based on what he was saying to me. And when he used the word find, he wanted to separate to find the right person. And when he was done, that's where I started my conversation. That's where I started my advice to him. I repeated the word to him, find. Is it that you want to find the right person, or is it that you want to work on you to ensure that when God placed the right person for you, provide the right person, you're ready? Think about it logically. Because what we do in relationship, we go out to seek the right person. No. In seeking the right person, we have our own ideals, where we have our own description, right? So, and when I say description, I do mean both physically, that you can see, the outer, physique, so to speak. And we have our own description as it relates to how the person should interact, how the person should behave, what kind of quality the person should have. The trouble with that, though, is that quickly we can identify and tick off the physical aspect of the person as it pertains to what we like. We can tick that off quickly. However, in terms of the quality of the individual, that is going to take years of getting to know the person before we can say, completely. If we can say, completely. Now, between the time of meeting the individual to getting to know the person completely, We have moved out of courtship and now this person is our own, so we're sharing we're sharing intimacy, and between that time children come in play, probably, our emotion takes the best of us, and so we engage or we get married, yet we're still not able to tick off the quality that we perceive, right, for being happy, that we want the individual to have for us to enjoy happiness. But we have tick off the physical. Yes, the person looks this way. Yes, the person dresses this way. Yes, the person, but in terms of quality, is the person loving? Is the person compassionate? Is the person understanding? We are still not able to tick those off. But we are engaging the person as though the person is, our own, so to speak. And that's what happens in most relationships. And by the time you realize that the quality you desire in a relationship is not the quality of the person, you are far in. You're deep in the relationship. Now, when you realize that, oh my word, 5 years it took me to realize that this person is really not the person for me. But 5 years into the relationship, I'm now married. I have 4 children. I have business with the person. We bought a home, so we're sharing mortgage. We have all these things. And no, these are material things. But most of us, we use material things to determine our happiness. And many of us are not ready to walk away from our material acquisition with an individual to start anew, to start afresh for happiness. Many of us are not going to do that, especially if you are the breadwinner. It doesn't matter if you're male or female. If you are the breadwinner, you don't want to walk away from a relationship if you know that you're going to lose out and would have to start all over again, especially when you've reached a particular age where in your mind it's going to be hard to start over. So you prefer to remain in the relationship and die an unhappy person. So finding the right person, that is what it gives us, finding the right person. And so let's go back to the story. And so I said to him, well, listen, if you are unhappy as you say you are, first, you have to think about the children, because there are children in the relationship now. So you have to think about the children. That is the main priority. You have to think about the children and how you're going to have this conversation with your partner. Having the conversation with your partner, bearing that you both have children in the relationship together. You share children, right? I'm not talking about whatever else that you share. You share lives in the relationship, and the decision that you will make will affect them. So think about the children first, right? And yes, I am not saying that you should stay in an unhappy relationship because of children. I'm not saying that. Children will grow up and leave your home and be happy, and then you're going to regret remaining in the relationship, not being happy, because by that time, you would have wasted most of your years being unhappy. So I'm not saying that you should stay in an unhappy relationship because of children. What I'm saying, when a decision is being made, especially when there are children involved, then the decision should be made bearing that the children will be affected. So the best decision should be made. So in other words, many persons, when they're separating, they become vindictive. They don't want to share the children. They don't want either partner to visit the children. The children become a meal ticket. The children become, the children are used in order for them to be selfish. So that's bearing in mind that the children will be affected. So the decision should be made in a civil way, so to speak, right? And so I said to him, the children, think about the children. However, if you want to separate because you're unhappy, you should separate to find yourself and not to find the right person. Because if you separate to find the right person, you're going to end up where you are now. Separate to find yourself, the right person will come along. But to find yourself. And he looked at me and he said, you know it's true? I said to him, why? Why do you believe it's true? Why? He said to me, listen, when I met this person, she looked the way I wanted my wife to look. She dressed the way I wanted my wife to dress. She said the right things. You know, we went on dates, and whenever I see her, the butterflies will start flying in my tummy. I don't know if you understand that, if you've ever felt butterflies there, but yes, the butterflies are there. You know, she had everything I expected from my woman in terms of the physical being. So when I first met her, that I loved that about her. That hasn't changed. However, being in the relationship for years, because what he doesn't like about her no was not showing in the earlier stage of the relationship. It took some time for it to start surface. So being in the relationship, let's call it the newness of the relationship, he was enjoying her. She would be saying the right things, she would be doing the right things, and he was enjoying her, taking his eyes off the qualities that he desired, because he's now caught up in the whole physical being. And to add to that, she's really saying the right things. The problem came right after the first child. And then it is as if she believes that, you know, yes, I am now the wife and I have a child, so I can now be me. You know, like you breathe, it's time to be me. And when she began being herself, that's when he began disliking the qualities. So he preferred her when she was pretending to be what she was not, though her physical being has not changed. But the qualities that he desired, they weren't there. They weren't there. And because he was so focused on the physical being, he was unable to tap in. Because even though there was pretense, I believe that beneath the pretense, if you are looking with a keen eye, you can pick up and identify some of the qualities that are not right for the relationship. But only if you are looking with a keen eye. Now, if you are clouded, your view is clouded because of you're enjoying this person, this space with the person that you share, you're not going to see those things that you do not desire as it relates to quality. So that started. Then the second child, then the third child. So they have 3 children. And by the time it got to the third child, it could not be fixed. Well, based on his explanation, it could not be redeemed. It got worse, and each time it elevated some more. And now he's unable to cope. And he now wants to separate to find the right person. I encouraged him to have the discourse with his wife, ensure that the children are thought of based on whatever is going to be said, and if you have to separate and work on you. I didn't even ask him, what are the things that you're not doing right in the relationship? I didn't even ask that, because if he wanted to share that with me, he would have. Like I said, when persons are sharing their issues, it matters not work related, family related, relationship related, it doesn't matter what. They're not going to share the trueness of what happens. They're going to make themselves look pretty, beautiful, or handsome, and the other person look ugly, if there is ever such a person, right? So I said to him, do those things. And when you separate, work on you. Now, this working on you, let me know your views. Let me know your views. Share. Do remember that you can call 1-876-367-0127 via WhatsApp. Share in the chat box, or you can also WhatsApp me here. I do have some messages here. I'll look at them in a moment's time. Now, when I say finding the right person, what are your views? How would you deal with a situation like that? Like, do you believe that separating from an individual because you're unhappy, you should move directly into a new relationship? What are your beliefs? How would you find happiness after a disastrous relationship? Let's ask that question. Respond, let me know. But here's my thing to you, and what I shared with him. When you separate from an unhealthy relationship, if you are an individual who do not enjoy your own solitude, you're going to have problems. If you are an individual who needs person around you to always make you feel happy, if you are an individual whose happiness depends on other persons, you're going to have issues. If you are an individual who always wants to be in the company of others, you are going to have issues. Because it is because of that very reason why you want to separate, to find the right person, because you are afraid of being alone. So the first thing that I said to him is to try to learn to appreciate and enjoy your solitude. You see, when you appreciate and enjoy your solitude, believe me, you are so strong. Nothing you will take for granted and nothing will miss you. But you see, when you're weak and you are depending on that person, that partner you want to belong, you are going to have issues. Yes, I see. Yes, you are going to have issues. So the first thing, as one of my viewers, thank you, Andrea, said, you just have to let go and try to trust the new partner. But before you get to the new partner, Andrea, you have to work on yourself. Enjoy your solitude. And this is something that is very profound, enjoying your solitude. Because I find that when you are an individual who always want to have company, you're missing cues. You're depending on other person's happiness to drive yours. You're depending on other people to say, oh, good job, for you to do a good job. You're depending on other people. You want people to say, oh, that is his wife, or that is her husband. You don't want people to say, oh, she's single or he's single. You are afraid of being single because of what? The connotations. Do not be caught up about what people think, because when you begin to do that, then you're not going to be living your life. You're going to be living the life of others. So if I believe that, okay, you should wear brown, you're going to be wearing brown every day when black is really your favorite color. Well, they say black is not a color, it's a shade. But because I like black, I use it as an example. If you are an individual who want to be praised and the accolades to feel good, then if I say to you, you are a good cook, then it means that what you're going to do is you're going to try to prove, this is not you. You're going to try to prove to others, yes, I am a good cook, so you're going to do some madness. And the same goes for the relationship. Enjoy your solitude. Like being alone. Enjoy being alone. Try it. So the person who is going through that breakup, listen. When you are separating from an individual, before the separation, when you're unhappy with an individual and you begin to share your unhappiness with your friends, your family members, and they would say to you, listen, leave him or leave her. You find that you go home, you pack up your clothes, and you leave. But then a week after, you're back in the home. sharing the same space. Your friends and your family members will be saying to you, listen, why are you there after you just told me all these horror stories? Why are you back there? You're back there because your friends, your family members were the ones who told you to leave. You did not tell yourself to leave. They were the ones who told you to leave. Get it? The moment when you decide that, listen, I am going to assess what is going on here, and I'm going to make this decision without the influences of others. When you decide that and you pack your bags and leave, then nothing nor no one will get you to return. And I'm going to share the second story shortly. So, first, if you are going through a broken relationship, let's say a sad relationship, because broken could mean many things. So let's say you are in a relationship and your relationship is not fulfilling and you want to separate from the individual. Separate because you want to work on you, right? Sometimes when we separate, you have some persons who might be, in conversation with another partner during the moment, because here's what happens. When a person is unhappy in the relationship, if they're not strong enough, what will happen is that they're going to seek someone who can give them the happiness that they desire. Now, this happiness is really a pseudo happiness, because this happiness is not, most times, it's pseudo happiness. It's not true. You are not really, and at this time, you are also blind, because you are going through this kind of mess at home. You seek someone else to fulfill your desires. And so you find that, you're sharing your sad story with this person, you're engaging, you're intimate with the person, and you decide that, okay, you're going to separate and be with this person. Come on, talk to me, listeners, talk to me, viewers. And when you separate and decide to be with this new person that you have been engaging during the time when your relationship is unraveling, you recognize that this person really didn't want you. Understand that some persons are not ready for commitment. They are okay with you being married or you having an individual, committed to an individual and having them on the side. Do know that the moment you decide that you are going to set yourself free from home to be with them, you might startle them, because that's not what they want. They want to be kept on the side because they do not want that type of commitment. And it's not just for females. You have males who don't want the commitment too. It's not just females, because many times when we talk like this, we begin to think, it's a female, it's a gold digger. Men are gold diggers too. It's female. No, it's not just female. You do have men who don't want the commitment. You do have men who will not want you females until you are taken by another person. When you become committed to another person, immediately you become attractive, you become sexy, you become awesome, and they want you and they want to but before, they were not interested in that, because they do not want they do not want to commit themselves to you. They just want a joyride. You have to recognize that. So when you separate and work on you. Now, if you're not the person who enjoys solitude, you have to work on that as well, right? Some things that you can do: read, preoccupy your time. Occupy your time, not preoccupy your time. Occupy your time. So when you are not at work, occupy your time with things that can keep you occupied. Right? Find some things that can keep you occupied. Work on you. Try something new. Right? Register for a course. Do some sports that you might be interested in and didn't have the chance to do. Right? To find something new. Try a new skill. Right? Do something that will occupy your time. It's not going to be easy. Nothing in life is easy, and if it is easy, it's not worthwhile. Yes. It's not going to be easy, especially if that's not you as an individual, but you have to start by trying. And so you occupy your time while you work on yourself. And when I say work on yourself, no, in your moment, in your space, evaluate the relationship. In a relationship, one person is never at fault only. It takes two. Both of you are in the relationship. So one person cannot be at fault entirely. Yes? But yes, I do understand that one person can be the aggressor. Yes, one person can be the aggressor. But one person in a relationship cannot be at fault entirely. No. Right? So when you do separate, you begin to evaluate the relationship, because now you want to end up in you don't want to separate to live alone. That is not healthy either, right? But you don't want to separate to live alone, but you're not separating to find a new person, you're separating to belong. So you evaluate the relationship. You're going to look at when it all started, what role you played. Yes. Even if you're not telling other persons the role you played that caused the relationship to go south, in your moment, in your solitude moment, look at the role you played. When you evaluate the role you play, also make sure that you try to fix those things. Try to fix those things. And when I say try to fix those things, I'm talking about a deep fix. I'm not talking about a facelift now. Right? I'm talking about a deep fix. Look at the things that you didn't do that she liked or he liked. Look at the things that you were doing that was wrong for the relationship. Because viewers, my viewers, if you don't do that, you're going to end up in another relationship that you're going to want to run from. The only time you will find yourself, and when you do that too, it makes your next relationship that you will become a part of a healthy relationship. Yes, most times it might be that you're trying your hardest best, but the individual that when you work on yourself too, you will recognize that an individual in your space, you will feel the energy and know that this is not the right person for you. Can I get an amen? Type the amen in the chat. Please type up your amen. Can I get an amen on that? When you work on yourself, you will get the feeling, the vibe, the energy when that individual comes. Have you ever been in the company of some persons, and as soon as you're in that company, you just don't feel right? Something is just off. That's what I'm talking about. When you work on yourself, you will feel that energy when you begin to court again or to put yourself back out there on the market. When that person come in your space and it's not the right person for you because you have worked on yourself so much, you are going to feel that energy. You have to believe in those things. Yes, you have to believe in those things. But if you remain blinded by the physical being, everybody wants somebody that is pretty. Now, if you don't speak the dialect, I'm from Jamaica, and if you don't speak the dialect, let me know. I can get a translator for you. Because, Jamaicans cannot be dramatic in English, So when we're talking the things, we have to chip in a patois. Yes. So if you don't understand it, let me know. I get a translator. So when you work on yourself in that way, the energy, positive energy comes. You exude positiveness. And when the negative energy comes towards you, you repel. But when you continue to just put yourself out there, you attract. You attract all the negative and all the bad vibe. You attract. You find, and sometimes we say, boy, I'm salt. You come like say, me one the bad people, them have to fine. Me have to go wash off in the salt water, Yes, because you are not you're not exuding positive energy. And so what you put out there in the universe is what is going to come back at you. Yes, whether it is a relationship, whether it is a job, whatever it is. So in your moment of solitude, you work on yourself. So you look back at the relationship, look at the things that weren't working, look at the things that you'd want to fix about you, look at the direction you would want to go, look at the direction that you'd want to go, look at the person that you'd want to call your own. And ladies and gentlemen, let us move away from this physicalness. Let us move away from it. Yes, I do understand that we all aspire to have a beautiful flower. How do I describe the men? And a handsome knight. Yes. Yes, I understand that we all want to have a beautiful flower and a handsome knight gracing our side. But it's because of this beautiful flower and this handsome knight concept why we're missing on the things that are important. Age comes. And what? Even the flowers withers away. Yes? So you wake up in the morning and the fresh dew, the dew on the flowers, the rose, it's beautiful. And by the sun rises and hit the rose, it begins to wither. It's life. So if you want to build a relationship on the physical being of the individual, at one point in time, you're going to lose interest because age will happen and many other things will happen. But let's change that. If we shift that now and say, well then, when I talk about beauty, I'm talking about the person's personality. I'm not talking about, the physical being. I'm talking about the person's personality. Now, if you change that, for a lifetime, you will be happy. Because age, sun, dew, time does not change a beautiful character. Can I repeat? Age, time, sun, dew does not change a beautiful, or let me change now, a handsome character. Think about it logically. We're doing it wrong. We are doing it wrong. It's not about how you look and what you wear and how you do your hair and what kind of makeup you wear and how much money you have. And it cannot be. Because one day those things shall pass. But until the day I die, my character, my trueness of self will remain. And if that is what you desire, and I have what you desire, happiness will remain with us throughout our entire relationship. Let me share. Thank you, Mark said, you need to work on yourself before you commit to someone, otherwise it will fail. Perfectly so. But many of us don't understand that. All right. Let me go to the other story. And this is the flip side. And no, this is a female. No, it's not me. I rarely share my story here. All right. Now, a young lady who is in a relationship, prior to a relationship, she was very comfortable, very unhappy, and with someone whom she thought she could have a life with forever, whatever that means, right? Well, it means, eternity to many persons. That person that you die with, or, you live until whichever one of you go first, yes? That lifetime partner, yes, I'm searching, lifetime partner, right? And she thought this person would be her lifetime partner. It didn't work that way, right? He left her for someone younger. Yes, someone younger. Again, the physical being, someone younger. And she decided that was it. She was not going to, she was not going to enter in another relationship. She was just going to go to church. I don't know. People assign church with being alone as if that is the only purpose of church. Boy, I'm not about no relationship. I just go in my church. What is it? Somebody tell me about that. You know, tell me why? Right? Does God want us to be single? Me no know. Tell me. When a relationship it ends, a number of persons, Jamaicans, I'm not sure how widespread this is, but Jamaicans, I'm tired of the dating thing. I just go in a church and done. But anyways, she decided, no, well, she decided that that was it where relationship was concerned. She's just going to focus on doing the right thing by God. She's just going to, focus on her. And so she did. For years she was single. And she was truly working on her to a fault. And why did I say to a fault? Because she became so powerful. No, people, when you understand yourself, know what you're worth, you become so, you ever hear them say knowledge is power? Yes. When you understand yourself, know what you are worth, know what you are worth, you become so powerful, and it can be a distractor. So she becomes so strong. She becomes so comfortable with herself to a fault, because now when advances were being made at her, she ignored it and didn't feel any way. It was hard to get her to go to a party. It was hard to get her to meet someone else with the hope that they would find love together. She just couldn't bother. She worked on herself. She did a second degree. She changed her job and was making enough money. Right? She was just okay. She was just okay with being alone. She was not interested in finding the right person. The right person probably come and go so much time when she said no, and she not even realize, because she was not interested. She was just not interested. But the same church that she decided that she wanted to go in, God had a different plan for her. Because of course, God don't want us to be alone. So stop saying it. Stop saying that you're not going to seek anyone. You're just going in your church. God doesn't want that. Find that person, or as soon as you work on that yourself and that person come along, both of you go to church. You don't use church to appease your loneliness. Right? All right. So she decided that that's what she was going to do. But guess what? The right person decided to be determined. And this is what I meant, ladies and gentlemen, that when you decide to work on yourself, you will feel the energy. And when that person comes within your presence, if they respect and love what they see, what they hear, what they understand, they will not walk away. The right person found her. Not only that, the right person decide that it doesn't matter. Today you say no to having coffee. Tomorrow I will ask you, let's go have dinner. Tomorrow you say no. Well, the next day I will ask you, let us go and have supper. Then you say no. Well, let us go to church together. He is always trying without being, what should I say, without forcing himself upon her. In a gentle way, he has always been trying. Never give up. Never give up. He never gave up. He tried. And in such a way that she began to recognize his effort. She began to see the trueness of what a man should be like. He was not taking her flowers because he's expecting that she's going to repay him with something else later on at midnight. He was not offering to take her to dinner because he's expecting the same, kind of intimacy after dinner. He was doing that because he saw a gem, and he wanted that gem to be with him so that they can build a foundation together. And that is exactly what happened. They became husband and wife. And she lived happily ever after. Of course, happily ever after with conditions. Because nothing is perfect, right? But guess what? The imperfections within the relationship should be such that you can work with them. The challenges in the relationship should be such that you can work on them. And guess what? It's not one person, you're doing it together. So happily ever after means we are working together. We are always progressing together. And if we fail together. Because listen, it's not I, it's us. Many of us are in relationship, and when we talk about things, we say I. You're making plans, I. You're doing something, someone say, well then you're I. Yes, I. I told you that I've never shared a story, but here's a story, a true story. Some time ago, I was in a relationship, long time ago, right? And I remember my partner's friend, way back then. We had dinner. We had I don't even remember, some sort of get together at the house, and his best friend said to me, "You're such a beautiful lady." Well, anyone who knows me know that I can't take a compliment, and as soon as those things come on, I'm kind of brushing it aside because I want you to see the inner me. Because 80 years from now, are you going to say the same thing because you're looking at the physical? So, anyways, nonetheless, he said, "You're such a beautiful lady," and he turned to him and said, "You have a beautiful lady," and he smiled. And when dinner was over, and we were now home alone, he turned to me and he said, "Well, listen, I know, Mark," which is not his real name, I'm just using a name here, "just told you that you're beautiful and all, but don't let that get to your head. What I need you to do is to ensure that you keep the house and keep the house well." Yes, I was like, okay. So you have to understand that in a relationship together, you have to be compatible, you have to be caring, you have to be understanding. Here is another thing I'm going to throw at you. It's now 9 minutes before I'm done. Here is another thing I will throw at you. Self-esteem. If your self-esteem is low, just as how you don't enjoy your solitude, if your self-esteem is low, you're going to have issues. Now, using that same example, using that same scenario, well, it's not a scenario, it's a true story. I just share with you about me. Imagine what would have happened if I was lacking self-esteem. I would be crushed. I would be crushed. Imagine what would have happened if I depended on someone to make me feel happy. Imagine what would have happened if I depended on someone to make me feel whole. Imagine what would have happened if I was an individual who believed in this physical being. So if someone said to me, "Well, then you don't look good," imagine what would have happened then. And then coming from my partner at the time, imagine how that would have felt. What did I do, you ask? I said, "Thank you, but my self-esteem is higher than that." Growing up, my parents would tell me that I look good. So if I don't hear it from anyone else, that's fine. And that's how I responded. It did not faze me one bit. But how many people can do that? And that is why you have to understand the importance of knowing you, the importance of working on you, the importance of enjoying your solitude. Even if you're in a relationship, listeners, viewers, even if you're in a relationship, there must be moments where you can probably just go in the bedroom, take up a book, read and meditate. You don't want anyone in your space at that time. You just want to, be in that little space and just recalibrate. Yes, to come again. But you need to enjoy your solitude and enjoy you and build your self-esteem. A relationship is with two persons. And if it goes sour, both of you would have failed the relationship. And before you enter in a new relationship, it is important for you to work on self. All right? Now, that's it from me tonight, our first show. Now, know that in the previous times or season, it was just about relationship talk. Not so. We will talk about anything, everything. If you want to hear it, I will speak it. Note too that you can participate. No one called me, but I have texts, messages, and I see them going in the room. Thank you so very much for participating. Please ensure that if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, ensure that you subscribe so that when I put out my work, you will get it. And when it's time for the nightcap show, you will be notified. So if you have not yet subscribed, please subscribe. Do remember to follow me on Instagram at designedtoinspire, or connect with me on LinkedIn at Charlene Clark Cura. I will type that in the chat. And of course, I am also on Facebook. Yes, I am on and I'm on TikTok. Yeah, well, TikTok. Yes, TikTok. Yes, TikTok. I'm also on TikTok. So wherever the inspiration is needed, I'm there. I'm here to inspire. I'm here to motivate. I'm here to engage. I'm here to share with you. And if you have a story that you'd want to share, DM me. Let me know. I'll make it happen, and it will happen. Listen, together we need to be stronger. We need to ensure that we help others to understand and to elevate out of that slum that they might be in at this moment by sharing, by caring. And this is what the Nightcap show is all about. Yes, I hope you enjoyed the show. Please subscribe. Please stay right here. Don't go anywhere. This is a channel where you want to be, and continue to share. This is your girl, Charlene Clark Cura, and I'm saying peace. Thank you. Good night. Let me say, before I go, big shout out to Trudy and Jackson, who is celebrating her birthday today. The birthday greetings coming from all your girls. Yes. We want to say happy birthday to Trudy and Jackson. Thank you so very much for joining. Thank you so very much for sharing. I see you all. Marjorie, Stephen. Oh, Stephen Cura. Yes, that tells a story. Hi, Stephen. I see you. Yes, that's my husband. And I see you, Juan. I see you, Andrea. Thank you so very much for participating. Remember, share the link. Tell another person to tell another person to tell another person. Let us grow the inspiration, and let us keep the connection flowing. Good night, and it was my pleasure being here. Remember, the show is aired every other Sunday. So next Sunday, I will not be here. It's every other Sunday. Do remember that it's every other Sunday. So you won't see me next Sunday. Yes, you will not see me next Sunday. But I will have information on the channel for you. So until then, continue to inspire, motivate, and engage. This has been Designed to Inspire. Be inspired.